Okay. Hello, good morning, everybody. I hope you guys have a wonderful Chinese New Year. Thank you very much for joining us, and thanks for being to see you on this lecture. I think this is a really important lecture to get to understand. The reason why is because one, a lot of people don't realize, when you're being very obese or you have diabetic, actually it will be definitely potential get you to be having a heart or stroke problem. And so today we're going to focus on how your obesity and diabetic actually affect your heart. So that way you have a better understanding. And so you will have, after this lecture, maybe you have a little more motivation to say, hey, maybe I really need to lower my weight, get my BNI under 24 or 22. So in that area is so important. Don't let it go in 30 and up. So a lot of people don't realize that is definitely will get you to have potential heart attack. Plus the diet and all those things will really can potentially cause your heart to be, damaged because of the sugar. It could be weakening of vessels and so forth. So we could give a very good discussion today on why this is happening. So I think it's a very education, informative webinar. Can benefit people who understand. Wow, diabetic, I can actually do that. So that's good for you. So anyway, I wish you on the year of the horse good health and full of energy. Also, your blood sugar will be normal level, cholesterol normal level. So that way you can have, and your blood pressure normal level. That way you can have really a good health throughout the year and enjoy your life. And that's all we have to do. Okay. So now let's start our webinar. We will start now to get our webinar started. Okay, can someone like Edwina give me a one if you can? You can see the slide. I think you can see the slide, but just double check. That's all. So today we'll talk about heart failure. It is rising and role obesity and diabetes. How do you get that to get the heart failure rising because just you are being obese and also diabetic. I mean, that is really the lecture that you guys need to better understand. So first of all, today we'll talk about our agenda is very simple. We're going to talk about one, how excess body fat to change your heart structure. Now that is so important, because really just body fat can actually change your heart structure, meaning that, your heart become fatter and become your muscle become not strong. Blood have all kind of clot in there. All this will deform and make a heart structure different. Wow, that is so important. So we will talk about that today. We'll dive deep in the area and how high blood sugar actually damage your vessels and what warning sign of heart failure. And you need to know that because when the heart failure actually the sign comes, you don't go to say, well, I'm going to wait one week to see my physician because you will probably not make it for that week. So you got to go to emergency right away to do that. And connection between the insulin resistance and heart weakness, and what nutrition and lifestyle strategy to lower your risk, and how can low sugar can help you. And today, that's is going to be a very informative, it's a good seminar, and we'll definitely will get you out by your time 45 minutes from now. So, but on the hand, that is really important to understand what is all this about. Now, today I notice a lot of people I don't familiar with the names, and I always catch up with talk about how diabetic with four stage come up. First, the first stage is when your LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, start increasing, and it damage the B cell, the pancreas come out with the B cells will take sugar to the cell, and that's damaged. So now more sugar will circulate in vessels, and now the problem will start because what happened is the LDL cholesterol and sugar add together, the blood become thick and it's going to form plaques. And when this plaque forms, that means your vessel become less and less space, so your blood pressure goes up. Now, whole diabetics journey is going like that. The whole body keeps plugging and plugging, and later on, that's how you affect your heart, your kidney, your brain, everything, because it starts blocking up the whole body. So that's why it's so important to cut down your cholesterol, cut down your blood sugar. The net result, the whole body will not be formed with all these plaques. But certainly with that, there are no sign and symptoms. So most likely you'll be, just continue your similar lifestyle. So very quickly it will change about 2, 3 years. You will become a pre-diabetic. Now, how do you measure pre-diabetic? Every doctor measures the same thing. They measure the hemoglobin with amount of percent of sugar attached to this hemoglobin. So your hemoglobin is actually with this percentage called HbA1c, and they measure that, and you have seven. Usually they measure it, every 3 months because it's a 3 month average. So if your HbA1c is 5.7, then you are actually a normal person, below 5.7. But if you're between 5.7 and 6.4, now you are pre-diabetic. And unfortunately, pre-diabetic, you have no medication to help you. So the doctor will say, hey, you're pre-diabetic now. You need to take care of yourself to lower your blood sugar by eating low-carb diet. You can eat a lot of vegetable and a lot of greens. And you have to exercise. You have to lower your weight. And you have to measure yourself. The blood sugar content goes up. So with that, you might hurt it, but on the other hand, you have not much motivation because your bodies is no change right now. Why should I do all this stuff? And especially going to exercise every week, a day you have to exercise, and you look at all this nice food you can take. So one thing can help you is really low sugar. Low sugar can actually lower your blood sugar, cholesterol, and blood pressure. And that is one thing that you can definitely help you. Now, if you don't take care of this, by the time you get to 6.4, once you switch to 6.5, you know what? You're now become a so-called registered diabetic now. So your insurance gonna go up. Your insurance might even don't want to cover you. Matter of fact, I have quite a few clients in Hong Kong. Their blood sugar went up to over 7. They start getting diabetic medication, and eventually more and more higher. Your insurance actually reject them or give them a tremendously high covered cost. So wow, they don't realize that. And so now they come back and say, hey, I need to lower my blood sugar so I can get back to my insurance. So wow, that is the kind of thing I'm sure in America sometimes people will also face the same thing. So we talk about, hey, what is low sugar tea? Okay, low sugar have two things only. One, low sugar tea has guava leaves, which delay the sugar to go into gut vessels. So less sugar in there. Secondly, you have bitter melon, which is increased insulin sensitivity. Now, that's very important because insulin sensitivity, you get more insulin sensitivity, then they will get more sugar back to the cells and use up the sugar. Now, another very wonderful thing in bitter melon, excess sugar, they will dump it off, dump off the excess sugar and the bad cholesterol through, and also salt through urine. When that three item come down, the sugar will go down, your cholesterol will go down, and also the last, your blood pressure will go down. Plus, they help you detox. And this is 100% natural. It's not a drug. It is just a drink. And guess what? Many people definitely actually take this, and even they take a lot of medication, somehow the sugar doesn't come down. The reason is they have high insulin resistance. With bitter melon intake, that actually does increase the insulin sensitivity. So the blood sugar actually go back to the cells and tastes very good. All you do is drink 6 to 8 cup of tea, you're done, okay? But anyway, our company doesn't want to just drink tea. You need to change lifestyle. So we have 420 plus lecture right now teach you about how to lower your blood sugar level in low carb diet and low fat diet, how to do exercise 8 to 10,000 steps per day, and weight control. You're gonna get your BNI lower than 23, and later on this lecture will teach you how to calculate BNI and how to listen to the webinar every week. Is free of charge. Imagine that. We give you 400 plus webinar free of charge. And you didn't take this, no problem. You can go back to the website right below here. You see this QR code, take a picture of this, and you can click in there. You can actually get back all the previous lectures. So you can take the time to view this, okay? And all you got to do is drink those sugars 6 to 8 cups a day. And then you know what? Your A1C will drop down from, could be many people have a 10 plus that get down to 5.7. And certainly we teach you how to measure your blood and all that. So this is a very important. So you basically get your previous take this picture now, so you can able to get back a lecture and listen to on your spare time. So that is so important to regain your knowledge. Okay, so why the heart is so important? Okay, because the heart is your pump of blood throughout the body, give the whole body oxygen, nutrition, and then also remove the waste. Now, if you don't get your heart pump, you actually potentially you are in trouble, because you know why? You could have even died if you don't have your proper heart pump properly. So your heart pump is really one most important organ that if you without that you died. Okay, so always protect your heart. And your healthy heart will let you really enjoy proper active life. The reason why, if your heart is not functioning well, you get very tired, you have no energy, and then it will lead to all kind of serious issue. Could be affect the total quality of life, because you have no energy. You can pump all the blood to all different places. You can't even walk. You have difficult breathing. All that thing. Wow, you mentioned that. So you really, the key point is you have to protect your heart, avoid all these heart disease, and also you can preserve all the energy, strength, ability to live your life fully to all the age into your 90, 100. I have a couple ladies in my church. They live to 105. They're still walking maybe even better than me. And although I can see why they can do that, they are not that big, they're not chubby, they're good health, they're good energy, good attitude, they're alert. And so they walk every day, and that's what you want to do. And they enjoy life dearly. So protect your heart, okay? So how does a normal heart work? Now, I got the normal heart is very simple. Work like this. All the deoxygenated blood actually enter to this chamber here. And the chamber is the right atrium, move there to, and then go to the lung. And from the lung, they fill up all the oxygen through and then they will come back to the heart, and then you pump out through the left atrium, through the left ventricle, and power throughout the body. And using the aorta, this is the aorta, and this is a very important artery. If this artery busts, man, you most likely you die very easily, because that is the most important artery to pump the blood throughout the body and to everywhere. So basically, that's this heart function. So you may say, well, really at the end of the day, why the heart disease? Okay. Now, the heart disease is very simple. When you have cardiovascular disease, you affect all the heart and all the body blood vessels, especially the coronary artery. Remember these things here? This is the coronary artery. There are 5 of them. And if you one of those things are plugged up, that's where you have a problem. And also heart failure could be another thing. You could have a valve. This valve here, is your valve's not working, you're going to have this problem too, because they don't open up well. And so net result, you have, leaks to the blood into the chamber. And a lot of time, the valve don't close up, so you will start getting murmur. So there are 4 stages of murmur. So as you go older, you may have the stage 1, maybe not too bad. But when you get to stage 3 or 4, then you're gonna have an issue, because they keep leaking. So you're gonna have difficulty walking. You travel, it'll be difficult walking step and so forth. And on top of that, 4 out of heart disease, death, are due to heart attack and stroke. Imagine that. So really, you got to take care of your heart. If not, you are really in some kind of big problem. So you don't want to just ignore this. So that's why today's lecture will help you to understand how to protect the heart and how to make a heart function really well. Now, certainly, how excess body fat affect your heart? Because you thought, well, why the fats will affect my heart? It's throughout the body, isn't it? Well, first of all, when you have a lot of body fat, you have increased the total body blood volume. Okay, so you have a lot more blood around, circulating throughout the body, and with that, you have required large body, more oxygen, nutrition to feed the heart pump, and the pump has to make harder to pump out all these blood. So over time, you basically consist demand, rising blood pressure, create added strain, and the heart muscles. Imagine that. That is really like, for example, you have a car. You have only a car with a small engine, one liter engine, or you have 1,000 cc engine, and you put all kind of heavy things in there in the car and stress it every day and going uphill. And eventually that car engine, well, it's not going to work. It going to bust because you overstress them. The same principle here. If you have, you're chubby, fat, lots of body weight, the heart got to pump harder to get those blood throughout the body. So net result, eventually the heart become tired, and they will eventually everything be adapted to be the heart become thickened and large, and the help temporary, and also eventually it's not that efficient. It's not flexible, because every time they have to do pump a lot of energy to pump out everything and strain. So eventually it lead to a structural change that when the heart becomes structural change, meaning they become fatter, they call or bigger, it's called, and that will cause an increased risk of heart failure. And net result, most of the time, all these things will happen. Your blood pressure is going to go higher, and also the heart will also force to work harder. So several symptoms for sure work out is the heart blood pressure definitely goes up, and the heart become bigger. That is no good. Now, the structural change we're talking about is because now you force the heart to work bigger. Eventually, the heart muscle becomes thicker over time. And once that happens, the heart is enlarged, and left ventricle is also enlarged. And that means that at first, a thick might just basically, taking care of it. But as time goes on, the thick muscles require more oxygen and to feed this thick muscles, and also less efficient. And the left ventricle will become enlarged because they need more pumping in order to go to the lung and get the blood out to the aorta. And so all that all the pumping really, it become extremely difficult, and the heart become less flexible, and eventually become the heart, because the flexible is become less. So eventually lead to symptom of a lot of the heart failure symptoms, such as short of breathing, fatigue, and fluid buildup. Now, this is a very initial, definitely when you have that happen. Actually, this symptom definitely will happen. Reduced flexibility, such as heart feel not properly, in other words, the heart doesn't work properly, man, the pump doesn't pump properly anymore. The symptom of heart failure will always have one, shortness of breath, because the gas exchange through the lung is not efficient, and then you get very fatigued because not enough oxygen, and then the fluids start building up, so you start getting swollen feet, and lower extremity got swollen. All that sign will gonna happen. So if you have that, you better start going to see the doctor and find out why your leg starts swelling, why you got shortness of breath, why you get so tired. And those are pretty much the real classical sign of start getting heart failure. So also when you get a lot of fat, a lot of build up in the heart or the whole body. The problem with that is you also start, because the body starts saying, hey, that must be some reason. Maybe you have some problem. So they create so-called inflammation, and it create a hormone effect that the fat tissue release that inflammation chemical. And this chemical is actually will affect all the blood vessels. So excess fat, this inflammation is going to be elevated a long time, and they start damaging the blood vessels, interfere of normal heart function, and then you start going to build a lot more plaques building throughout the artery, because when you have more arteries with more plaques, the body thinks that there must be some infection, so they start more inflamed. So not net result, the chronic stress of heart development will make it worse and worse and worse. So that's the reason why over time, when you have the plaques, it forms strain, create the chronic stress to the heart, because all these plaques get less space. Heart will pump harder and harder, and then most likely down the road, as you extend it long period of time, the same situation, you will develop heart disease and eventually heart failure. And that's why it's so important not to continue to get the heart overstressed. Now, how the heart attack occur? Now, very important. Remember, we talk about this coronary artery, and if one of these arteries actually have plaques on it and they start clotting, and what happened is this artery, when it blocked due to clots, cholesterol, whatever is stuck here, and then the blood cannot go through. The heart here, eventually, the muscle beyond this is going to die. And it will die pretty fast if the blood flow will not get there. And once that die, you know what? That's the plaque can build up inside this area. There are other things can happen also. Like for example, the plaque can break open also inside the artery and able to clot somewhere around here also. The more clots there will be, the less blood flow to the cell behind. So besides the plaques forming, the muscles, there's no blood circulation behind this, and then you will have a severe actual medical emergency. The reason if the blood flow not getting into the heart in the other area, this muscle is going to die in 20 minutes. If not, so if one area of the muscle died, you most likely the heart is going to form all kind of crazy things. It won't pump properly, and you will die if you don't get medical treatment right away. So very important. There are two things. You don't want them to continue to form clots around. So you want to make sure plenty blood can go through, and you don't want to get the plaque to be dislodged and clot you in somewhere in the front, so blood cannot go through, and that result the cells behind this area, behind the clot, they will not blood going through. Then the blood muscles will die, and that is the really major issue on heart attack. And if that's the case, you don't want to wait a week to go to hospital to see the doctor. You want right away go to emergency, visit emergency and see emergency doctor. So right away you get treated, because when I was an ICU nurse, we saw an ER nurse, I saw a lot of those. People comes in, the shortness of breath, the heartbeat is terrible, and it's got fluttering and all kind of issue. And if you don't treat it with him very fast, that person is going to die. So we save a lot of life like that. So the next question is, okay, what is the heart attack symptom then? Really, first you're gonna feel pressure here. You feel something is squeezing, and you have pain lasting for a few minutes. And it can be sharp pain. And also the pain might return. But more prominent thing is so important. The pain will go up from here, go to the back of the arm, the back of the neck, the jaw. More important is when it radiate up here and go to the jaw. And you might think that, well, maybe I would strain myself. Now, really, at the end of the day, you start feeling the pain, and this is really getting sharp pain. And this doesn't last a little bit. It lasts, 20 minutes, come back again. And then you start experiencing some shortness of breath, or even cold sweat or nausea feeling and lightheaded. You need to go to emergency. Those are the most important sign and symptom that heart attack is coming. So if you have that issue, you got to be treated immediately, because, as I said, if you don't go to the hospital, wait one day or two, you might not be around anymore. So, remember, these are important signs and symptoms that if you see that, go to hospital emergency, not a doctor appointment visit. Okay. Now, Uh, so next question you might ask, okay, what is the risk factor for heart attack? Well, first of all, if you're diabetic, you have higher chances. You're overweight, your BMI is over 30, you have higher chances. You're obese, you always have poor diet. In other words, you have French fries, hamburgers, everything. Those that are poor diet, I don't eat vegetable. That is, I drink, 5 cans of Cokes every day. I tell you, I have a lot of friends actually do that, and they're obese with a big tummy. So net result, I asked them, well, they're high cholesterol. Their cholesterol is very, very high because they never actually take care of it. And they also have high blood pressure, meaning their blood pressure is 160 and above, sometimes going 180. And then they really do a very sedative lifestyle. So they watch TV all the time. They don't do any exercise, and they drink a lot, excess alcohol, meaning they drink beer, heavy drink, and also they smoke. So all these guys who did that, they are the one that who are really set up himself with risk of heart attack. Now, when you think about that, is okay. So now we'll talk a little bit about high already. So let's go to why obesity and type 2 diabetes are linked to heart disease. Well, first of all, when you're obese, your body basically, how do you define that? If your BMI over 30, okay, BMI over 30, and then you're type 2 diabetic, so the body is like continue to have insulin resistant, and it doesn't produce enough insulin, or the insulin comes out, it doesn't work. And then it will not regulate blood sugar. So the blood sugar continue to go up more than 180, 140, 180 around range. So, or in Hong Kong will be 7, 8, 9, 10. So you are now getting a stage to set yourself up really potential at heart attack. Now, the thing is, I have set a formula here for you to understand. You have to understand what is your height. So you have to calculate this by meter. So just convert your how many inches to meter, and then times time 2 times. In other words, 1.7 times 1.7 meters equal 3.6 meter, and you divide by the weight by kilogram. So kilogram weight by this height factor, now you 24.5. So to calculate BMI is very easy. So you just got to do this, and net result, you will be able to basically determine, hey, if I BMI over 30 now or what. So important to understand what BMI you are at, because you have to have a target to lower that to under 23, okay? So really, at the end of the day, now majority of the problem, the world, a lot, because food is good, lifestyle is good, many obesity people, and also type 2 diabetic worldwide. According to World Health Organization, it's about 1.9 billion people are overweight, and 650 million people are obese. Plus, you have 422 million adults are living with diabetes. And when you're pre-diabetic, even more scarier. There's supposed to be something like 1.5 billion people are pre-diabetic, I'm talking about. And with the pre-diabetic issue, you know what? They will have a issue that is potential 3 to 5 years, they will convert to diabetes if they don't take care of themselves now to change lifestyle. So imagine this is a big issue. Some doctor, professor even talked to me. They said this issue is even more worse than COVID-19. The reason COVID-19, you get over it in about 1 or 2 years. But when you're diabetic, you have a whole life of this disease stuck with you. So that's why they said that, and it will potentially create tremendous amount of medical costs. So very important. You really gotta have this to continue to change your lifestyle, change your diet, exercise, lower weight, and then also drink low sugar tea to help you out. Now, when you're diabetic, why they have big issue of heart attack? The reason is when you have high blood sugar, it damages the artery. Remember we talk about they form clot on the arteries, the clot here, and then it block, blood cannot pass through to the back of the organ or whatever, and they eventually would die. So net result, when you have that, you have heart attack, you can have stroke, all that occur from there. And people are diabetic, the heart attack is double the chance. Okay. The reason diabetic also damage the blood vessels, remember all the clots, also damage the heart muscles. So this blood clot and thrombosis, when it harden and it actually block the circulation and you dislodge, then you get stroke and it also block in somewhere else. And plus it creates scar tissue on the muscle. So heart have scar tissue, it don't function that well. And it's swollen because there's so many inflammation there because of the clot. So the blood vessels are all swollen. So all that will create what? A potential heart attack for you. So to prevent that, you really got to change that lifestyle. So you have to lower your weight. If you're overweight and you have a BMI of 30 plus, then you have to go down to 24 and 23. Make sure lower than 23. So very easy. You lose 5 to 10% body weight, you will have a less chance of heart attack. If you lower 10% body weight, you have minus 1% of A1C. Imagine that. One A1C is low 1%. So net result, your blood vessels, everything will become much better. Now you got to eat healthy diet. What's that mean? Healthy diets, healthy diets, including many fruits, vegetable, whole grain, lean protein, healthy fat, limit saturated fat, trans fat, and sodium at no sugar added is so important. Sodium will increase heart blood pressure and it will retain our fluid and stress your heart. So key is lower your sodium intake. Get regular exercise. Now, really serious. Get regular exercises. You gotta walk or use a bare barbell. Do this kind of exercise at Walk Master. Very simple. If you have a Walk Master, do this with a barbell. One kilogram of one pound. You can do the same, and you very move yourself to 1 kilogram. Do this every day, okay? And your step master go up and down. And when you do that, you are totally released with the exercise, you reduce heart disease. And also, if you do about 30 minutes, you lower 306 calories, lower 1 hour, you 600 calories. And you also go to sleep well, good sleep quality. Man, you can actually help you to manage better your weight and your potential lose lots of weight and lower your burn out your sugar. That will totally help you to much more healthier. Now, you have to manage diabetic, meaning you have to critically always take a look at blood sugar, control your blood sugar, not over 120 for Hong Kong, not over 6%, 6 or 6.4, and you have to control your blood pressure. Your doctor will give you medicine. Make sure you take those medicine and track your number all the time. One in the morning, one in the night. So that way you always know my high blood pressure or did I take my medication? And then you have to minimize your alcohol intake, avoid sugar drinks. So all the bubble tea, forget it. That is not for you. If you really have to drink some red wine, well, drink half a cup, half a glass, not to drink over it. Especially you can drink, make sure that you don't drink all the sweet cocktail, and also always stay hydrated. And that is so important. Now, one more thing a lot of people don't realize, the stress. Managed stress is important because your chronic stress can really contribute to heart disease. When you stress, your heart pump harder, go boom, 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 because you are stressed. So in order to do that, you have to have meditation. Big fast one is deep breathing, and yoga can manage stress. And also also make sure you follow your regular checkup. You know, we talk to your doctor all the time, the appointment to give you, you check the blood pressure, check the cholesterol level, check the blood sugar level, and make sure that you monitor all those are not overly high. It should go back to normal level. You know, your blood pressure should not over 130 over 90, so to speak. And make sure your cholesterol is good in good range, in your normal range. So your objective is drive all those things down to your normal level. And certainly you have to drink Lo Chu tea every day. Lo Chu it's not a drug, it's just a drink. It's caffeine free. It will not interrupt your sleeping. And you can even drink it at nighttime, 1 hour before sleep. It will not create any issue to disturb your sleep, because there's no caffeine in there, and it's not a drug, it's just a food. Inside there's only guava leaves and bitter melon, and tastes very good. It will lower your blood pressure, blood sugar, and bad cholesterol. That's all it does. And if you lower your three high, most likely you are very healthy. So the most important in this message is the power one is you have to lose weight. 5 to 10% weight loss will be definitely improve your blood pressure. If you even do 10%, you lower 1% your A1C. And with that, it will have you lower that weight. You also improve your insulin sensitivity, so more sugar back to the cells, and so the blood sugar will come down. And plus, if you lower your weight, you reduce the heart strain. The heart doesn't have to work so hard to pump to get you, to get all your activity done. So really, at the end of the day, the low sugar, the best benefit is they lower your three high, lower your blood sugar, blood lipid, and it support your cardiovascular health and improve overall physical fitness. And plus, people who have really tried to control the blood sugar, this definitely help. There's no sugar in there, no calorie, there's no caffeine. It's not a drug. It's just a drink that lower your three high: blood sugar, cholesterol, and blood pressure. And also it help you to, because there's a lot of good antioxidant there. So the rich antioxidant will basically support your overall health and boost your metabolism, and then basically you can able to burn off all your excess sugar, and eventually your blood sugar will continue to be low. And so in conclusion today, we now realize excess body fat can change your heart. And that's the most important message. You don't want to get a lot of body fat because it changes your heart structure. The structure meaning the heart become bigger, the vessel become all thickening. So you really want to make sure you don't get excess fat to the body. You have to have high blood sugar. You don't want to be high blood sugar, because the high blood sugar will damage your blood vessels. So that has to be continue to lower your blood sugar. That's why I said drink low sugar is important, because it lowers your three high. The insulin resistance does actually weaken your heart muscles. So that's why you want to decrease insulin resistance. You have to increase insulin. Major thing is low sugar tea can actually decrease the insulin resistance and make your insulin become more sensitive, so more sugar back to the cells. So it does support your heart muscle. And if you have early symptom of heart attack, do not ignore it. You gotta go to ER, emergency room, not doctor office, emergency room. So immediately you have to go emergency room. And remember, now you learn all these, just a small lifestyle changes can dramatically lower your body, your lower risk of heart attack. And that's what this lecture is all about. Really a small change, with lower your three high, lower your body fat. And, when you have continued to practice, decrease stress, good nutrition, exercise, at the end of the day, you know what? You will be very healthy, and you will eliminate the chances of heart attack or stroke, and you live happily after and travel and enjoy your life, see your grandchildren growing up. That's what we're trying to do. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate you folks listening to the lecture. If you have any question, do write to me, Andy at wahfong.com, ANDY at wahfong.com. And if you have any suggestion about lectures, do write to us. I would love to hear from you. And a lot of people do. Take care and enjoy your weekend. I appreciate you folks participate the lecture. I hope this information can help you to understand wow, what is a heart attack all about? And why you have to lower your weight, why you have to lower your three high blood sugar, cholesterol, blood pressure, and that will help you live much longer and healthy. Take care, my friend. Bye bye.